sees that Daisuke is by the horse, brushing her, she will say, "You did not sleep well either."
Ah, Miss Byako-san. Good morning. Yes, my dreams last night were a little more vivid than usual.
As were mine. I hope yours were more pleasant.
Uh, Unpleasant, per- maybe, perhaps not exactly. Yours?
Very worrying. It involved you and Saito-san,
He looks a little bit concerned.
and I needed your help, but I didn't know if you would help.
Miss Byako-san, you know we're always here to help you, right?
This was a difficult situation.
Probably would not dwell on it too much. It was a dream, after all.
I suppose. Would it make more sense to speak with the friend first or the money lenders?
I would begin with the less confrontational approach, so the friend.
He may help us anyway, as he has some connection to Saito-san, if very nebulous. The innkeeper said the friend lived in an area of cheap apartments?
Yes, he did. I guess we're about to go and knock on a few doors.
All right.
As we near the lower end district, he starts introducing himself to some of the local people and asking about where he can find Kakita Amaru.
Has some stones built into the walkway, but it is still a little muddy. It's not completely muddy, but there is some mud. There is what looks like small apartments, and some of them have laundry drying outside their window. And at the bottom ground floor, there is a sandal maker.
Well, considering Daisuke's been the one introducing himself to all the locals, Chiaki's going to let him introduce himself to the sandal maker.
There is a wooden shutter that has been lifted up and propped up, if that's what you're meaning.
Yeah, like the shutter, like a shutter that opens up, and that's the shop inside. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And there's a man standing there.
There is a man who looks about maybe 60, pushing towards 70. He has various tools and implements that are used to manipulate leather and the like, and the focus is on sandals. For the most part, they look cheap, not badly made, just his clientele for the most part seems to be people that don't have lots of money, so he doesn't make finely crafted ones, but just looking at the seams and that, he probably could without any real problem. There's just no no point if the clientele can't afford it.
Daisuke walks over to the elderly gentleman and says, um, would you be kind of enough to help us?
And he picks up a cane, shuffles over, peers at Daisuke. Help you? What help do you need? Are you okay, young man?
Oh, sorry. Chipped it off. Me and my friends over there are looking for a person of the name of Kikita Amaru.
Huh. Artist, young man. Artist.
That is who we're looking for.
Yes, that is who we're looking for. Would you happen to know where he lives?
Yes.
Would you tell us where he lives?
Well, I know where he used to live.
Before he moved?
Before he didn't live there anymore.
And where did he used to live?
Up above. In one of the small little hovels that exist there. He used to make paintings. Sumi-e paintings. Used to sell them. Money comes in. Drugs come in.
Drugs?
Quite talented.
Drugs?
Oh, yes. He didn't just have the dragon by the tail, he was holding the whole dragon.
Oh.
So where is he now?
No idea. He moved out 4 days ago, I think it was. Or at least he was 4 days behind on his rent. Huh?
I am sorry, old man. Have you seen him since he's moved out?
Nope.
Are his belongings, by perchance, still in the building above?
Nope. He took him with him, he wasn't dead.
Oh, you saw him leave.
Yeah?
Was he with anyone, or was he on his own?
No, he used to be with this other crane. But he wasn't there this time. But he was starting to go mad. He was convinced there was sinister forces after him. Whoa.
Maybe there were, if he left.
Well, he might have owed money.
Probably did.
But I mean, he was a crane. Aren't they meant to have standards? But a friend saw him at a flop house in the Wallow.
Flophouse?
Okay, young man. When a man and a woman like each other very much, they sometimes get married and have kids. If you have money, you don't have to do that bit. You can go to a flop house.
Oh. And Daisuke's face turns a bright shade of red. Rin's just staring daggers in the back of his head.
For not understanding, or for what?
Well, a number of things.
Now, unfortunately, sometimes the drugs and the flop goes hand in hand.
And someone saw him there when?
About 2 weeks ago,
Oh.
place called the House of Much Happiness. A misnomer if ever there was one.
I suppose we could go there and ask? Chiaki looks extremely doubtful.
Who is the owner of the hovel upstairs where Kikita Amaru stayed?
I'm not sure. I don't live there, and I own my actual shop. But if I had to guess, which is what you're asking me to do, I would not be surprised if it was one of the moneylenders. If it wasn't one of the moneylenders, it could quite possibly be one of the samurai of the city. They don't like money, but they love wealth, if you understand my meaning.
The samurai of the city love wealth here?
As opposed to loving it elsewhere.
Well,
Look, I don't know what it's like where you come from, because clearly you're not from around here.
Oh,
we do not consider wealth as being um, a desirable trait of a samurai.
And I've heard that. But there is a reason this city exists. There's a reason that this city is filled with so many poor people. Because while there's so many poor people, there is actually quite a lot of money here. And that money doesn't go down, it goes up.
then why does everyone stay?
They can't afford to go anywhere else. You can't just move into another village if you don't have money to obtain dwellings there. They don't want to just take in freeloaders. They can't afford to.
Wow, what a business opportunity. Just open up a village.
And I think that's where it started, young man. The opportunity to initially maybe neglect. But there's a lot of smuggling that comes through this city. And who do you think isn't catching people?
The authorities.
Yeah. So why would they not be catching people?
As they get paid.
Exactly. You're quicker than your friend.
Or their incompetence. It is logical, after all, if a authority is unable to capture a criminal, there is some degree of incompetence there.
It sounds as though here they are not unable so much as they are unwilling. Well,
There are many rumors.
Does not bode well if our friend has disappeared. Very well, thank you for your time and assistance, old man.
wait. You said there are rumors. Have you heard anything about people going missing?
There are always people going missing. We've heard lots of rumors about why this city exists. But I don't know if I should say such rumors as you are samurai and all.
We have been asked to look into a missing person, so even if it is only rumors, any information could be helpful.
I don't have any rumors about missing people. I mean, the city's not always the safest. There's money lenders, there's Yakuza. You owe any of them. And the drugs, they ain't cheap. That's why you don't see the peasants hooked on it. None of us could afford it. There's also many underhanded types of a political persuasion.
I see.
We have a saying, you get your hand in their back pocket, eventually you'll find their money. What it means is, if you can get someone in a compromising position, you'll get control over them.
That sounds like blackmail.
Yeah, they could. I mean, our, as in peasants, standing, not the same as it is for a samurai's.
But it seems as though there are plenty who are willing to come here and put themselves into compromising situations.
Absolutely. Like, if you have lived as long as I have, you can have a somewhat cynical view of things. Opium gives them a very big high, but it also creates a very big need. You supply that need.
But when someone runs out of money, then
They become expendable. Or, if they have use, and samurai have more use than a peasant in this case, we'll give you a hit. Give us some information. Is there any trade coming up? What are the routes that might be taken?
I see.
Have you heard anything? Any troop movements? You know as well as I, although this stuff is not technically illegal, it is very frowned upon.
It is forbidden for samurai.
And yet this place exists in the light of day. Who benefits the most from having a place like this with vast sums of money moving back and forth and vast amounts of information possibly moving back and forth? The government, that's who.
I suppose.
Many here think that the reason this place hasn't been burned to the ground and rebuilt is because it benefits the shogun.
I had heard something similar.
So I wish you luck if you're going to go and grab that hornet's nest.
I think we already have a little bit.
Better hope that the person you're looking for is just a drug-addled fool, not caught up in anything worse.
With our luck, I'm sure he's both. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Daisuke had said we should leave, so I assume he has a destination in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
And before he leaves, he says, "Arigato gozaimasu," and
Huh?
bows.
Thank you. From
Oh.
him as well.
You're welcome, young man.
Daisuke bows again. And
Chiaki will follow.
what a crazy old man.
He is used to how the city works.
Seems to know an awful lot for a sandal maker.
Rumors spread.
Perhaps a good place to hear said rumors.
So where to?
The moneylenders?
Ah. They're not both in the same place, as I recall, so who did you wish to speak to?
The first one.
The first The first one, huh? Well, I suppose the block print shop could be closer. The other moneylender, the innkeeper said he was maybe from the Wallow, which was also where the flop house was, if we did need to investigate that.
So, shall we go to the print house first?
I suppose so. We are looking for the block print shop. I have written down that a moneylender named Kizo is there.
A mixture of the fact the guy has a legitimate business, but you've also heard he's a moneylender. He's not incredibly difficult to find.
Mhm.
And with a bit of looking in that, you are able to locate a shop front.
And the disadvantage will be that maybe someone unsavory has heard that we're looking around town for certain people and that they may be taking more of an interest in us because of
Okay.
what we are doing
Okay.
in their town.
In there.
Okay.
All right.
So the traditional one, now they do more color, but the original one is simple black ink and carefully curating white space. Most of them were landscape like some were people, but a lot of them used it was a sort of landscape sort of style.
Mm.
So you are standing outside the storefront, which is
Yes, we are.
nicer looking than some of the others.
I suppose we should go in and, I don't know, ask about what we're looking for. Shall we go in?
And enters the building.
All right, Chiaki will follow after.
And there is a woman of about 30 and a man of about 50, and there is two Ronin who are armed, who are sitting behind him.
We're looking for someone, and it is possible you may have information.
He's sort of weighing you up, and he's drumming his fingers on a ledger. Who?
Doji Hiroshige.
He owed me money.
That is why you may have information.
But I don't have much, I'm afraid, that will help you.
If you know anything at all, that is surely better than nothing.
I know that he's disappeared. I know I am not involved in his disappearance. There's no money in killing him. I won't get it if I do that. I don't know if he has annoyed anyone else in the city. He probably has. In my line of business, we need allies, especially in the samurai. But I am starting to feel that the sponsorship in this city is getting just a little bit too ambitious. It is possible he has run afoul.
Of?
He could still be alive, of course. I have tried to track down his friend.
Kikita Amaru, we
He's the
have
one.
been unable to find him as well.
I don't think he is missing. I just think he is moving around a bit.
Ah,
He tends to go to some of the popular houses.
Flop houses?
And he smiles. Yes, young man. Although I think it's more for the smoke rather than the girls.
I suppose we may have to go looking for him.
Other than that, I have little to give you. I am, in this case, a simple businessman. I want to be paid, so I have an interest in him not being dead and in him being found. And there are several Sumi-e paintings in the shop.
Okay. And his friend owes you money as well?
A little. Not as much. Not that he's of any stronger character.
We had heard that his friend Kikita Amaru had vacated the premises he was renting.
I think he is starting to fall on hard times.
Not selling enough artwork?
I think it is an unusual position for a samurai to be having to act like a peasant. Under normal circumstances, a samurai serves. A samurai is in part provided for that service. When they come to a city like this and they fall from grace, for some clans, they are happier to see those individuals smoke themselves to death. The problem and the embarrassment goes away. There are a few rare individuals, but Amaru is a rare breed. An individual who has absolutely no ambition or drive in his regular life as a samurai, who now is finding himself of tenacious determination in not dying.
I take it you thought he would?
Only a fool becomes addicted to opium. There is no end of the road that is of a good nature. The only positive ending is to find a way off it. He and opium are like a big fish on a very sharp hook. Many run out of money, of which then they find themselves in a different kind of trouble. They either borrow too much to try to get their next hit, or they take up crime. That can sometimes lead to an unfortunate incident with someone more talented. Occasionally, rumour has it, a clan itself might step in if the individual has been creating what might be a embarrassment. He seems no interest in being a samurai, but I think that is because he is very much hooked on the drug. It is not cheap. His clan would not be supporting him, at least as far as I know. So his income would definitely be only from selling paintings, and there is only so many paintings one can sell.
Well, I suppose we shall have to continue looking.
Out of curiosity, how much was Hiroshige indebted to you?
He opens the ledger and looks down, like sorts through. There's different names, different pages. 5 koku.
Goodness.
Is that enough to kill someone over?
Me? No. Better to turn him.
Into...
Oh, it's always good for merchants and moneylenders to have a inside individual. A little bit of information here, a little bit of information there. You can make quite a lot of money, legitimately. Knowledge is power. If we can find out where the Winter Palace is going to be held at the next year, we can try to get positioned along the road early. Are harvesting crane lands not doing as well this year as last? Or are they doing better? Killing him might send a message, but it is not profitable. For me, it would be much more use for him to have been in the position he was and then shake the addiction. I'm a businessman. That's my entire motivation.
Well, Chiaki's ready to move on if the other two are.
Hmm. I think so.
Thank you for your time.
And he smiles.
Daisuke bows and walks out of the building.
Chiaki will follow.
I suppose now we need to go to the Wallow. That is where another moneylender we were told of. Well, that is where the innkeeper said he may be. And we could also see if anyone has heard of Kakita Amaru recently.
Says to Chiaki, Rin, Miss Saito-san asks of our progress and is saying she is starting to tire of just riding around town and wishes to head back to the inn.
I see.
As the weather is starting to turn.
Well, we can continue on if she wishes to head back.
Daisuke looks up at Rin, who looks down at the both of you, and she shrugs her shoulders, and she's like holding both her hands up, like, well.
As in, well, leave? Or...
We did not learn very much. It sounds as though Kakita Amaru is not missing, but is perhaps trying not to be found. He owes some money as well. Our next plan is to head to the Wallow to find either him or speak to another moneylender.
Leads Amaya back up the street.
Okay.
Sometimes in the practical sense, progress can be made a lot quicker without having certain people follow.
Is that so? Well, I suppose we shall go see what progress we can make.
Alright, we're looking for the Wallow.
And you get to the Wallows, which does not look any different than any other part that you've been in. It doesn't have a clear, like, structural, architectural sort of change.
Okay.
It's just a different district.
Would it be better to look for the other moneylender or this flop house first?
Having never been to so I'm not entirely sure what to expect.
I could not tell you.
For sure.
Yes, I guess.
Alright. We are looking for the House of Much Happiness.
You found it.
Excellent. Does it have a
It
sign?
takes a little bit of walking around. It won't be instantaneous, but there's no need to not find it. It is a stained, dark, oily building, 3 stories tall, with salt stains from the ocean. It smells of humans, of opium.
What is it?
The air is quite thick in here. And smells off.
It smells a bit
We-
like the magistrate's office.
I recall feeling a little woozy after the visitation to the magistrate's office. I would strongly advise not remaining here for too long.
All right. Well, we just need to ask if they've seen Kakita Amaru or Doji Hiroshige.
Give me a investigation roll of some description. So the interior is quite open. It's not separate rooms, and it's just a lot of sleeping mats. So it's like a small warehouse almost. And some people are sleeping, some are smoking. It's a mixture of males and females. And Chiaki sees a thin man, unnaturally thin, as in not supernaturally thin, but he's definitely unhealthy.
Okay.
His face is sunken, and you mistook him for an older gentleman initially, but realized he's not that old. It's bad living. His kimono is now ill-fitting, and it has a flower pattern on it and a small crane on one of the sleeves. His hair is loose and not in the proper top knot, but it hangs like a veil, and only the tips are white. And Chiaki knows that this is something cranes used to do when they were dyeing their hair white. And he is chewing on a wooden pipe.
Daisuke, I think we may have found the friend. And she sort of gestures subtly, not just outward, hey over there, but she's sort of trying to get his attention towards the very gaunt crane who is smoking.
So, what shall we do?
Well, we need to speak with him.
I certainly do not want to linger. This
He may not wish to leave.
maybe we could get him to leave with the promise of
Of what?
um, free opium, perhaps.
That would be a lie.
Or then perhaps something better.
Such as,
Oh, a better life for a start.
perhaps we should simply try speaking to him and see what happens from there.
Okay, you speak to him and I'll watch the front door.
And Chiaki looks very doubtful, but she will approach the crane samurai.
And you can see that he's looking at you through his veil of hair.
Excuse me,
What do you want?
Are you Kakita Amaru?
I might be. Do I owe you money?
No. I am trying to find a friend of yours.
Friend. I don't have any friends.
Well, we were told you had. One, at least. Doji Hiroshige.
What about him?
He's missing.
Yeah, I know.
And we are looking for him.
And how's that gone?
I am sure you could imagine.
And what is it you want from me?
To know if you've seen him or where he might be.
And he reaches over and his hand's shaking and he pushes a wood block painting towards you. And it's quite good, considering he must now be working with, or it might have been before his withdrawals.
Mm.
And he says, "My knowledge has a price. Buy one of my paintings and I will tell you."
How much is your painting?
4 koku.
Is that Daisuke or Adam?
Comes from the door.
Yeah, who's found that the door has not moved or done anything suspicious at this point.
I know he did say he was watching the door, not to make sure no one went out the door. Just
Well, he's listening, maybe from a distance, but I mean, like, yeah.
I'm
fuck.
afraid that would be a bit out of my price range.
Dear sir, you ask too much, surely.
And he rolls over and smacks the guy next to him. Shut up.
If I understand correctly, though, surely you need money enough that you would reduce your price if I could not pay that much.
What are you offering?
2.
All right.
and she will give him 2 koku. And pick up the painting.
And it's not bad. It's a seascape. You can see he has talent and imagination and creativity, and he is burning it all with opium.
It's a very good painting.
I did quite well in my class. And he puts the coins inside his shirt.
Do you like art?
Better than the battlefield, yes.
But not better than opium?
It can give you insight that is just not possible in the normal realm.
I think it can give you bad dreams.
Oh, we can do that too. It is a fickle mistress.
Have you seen your friend?
Not since the night that he disappeared. He, myself, and a third friend called Hade. He's a Ronin. We'd been at the Golden Dream, which was a opium den. Hiroshige had lost the last of his money at the Waiting Cat, which was not an opium den. He did well, as in me. So, as I had done well, I treated the other two miscreants. But the night ended with Hiroshige and Hade arguing over debts and billing. Hiroshige stormed off home, Hade went to a brothel, and I bought a pipe. I have not heard from my friend for 2 days, and I went looking for him.
And what did you find?
On the way that Hiroshige would normally go home, I found evidence in an alley. It looked like a struggle. There was stuff knocked over, there was some blood. I informed the law, but they didn't care. I can tell you where, but I don't want to go myself.
Well,
After myself and Kasuga Toru, we searched for him when we had time. I originally thought one of the money lenders that he owed money to had been involved, Kizu or Doro, but I don't know. Hade did not search for him. I've not spoken to Hade since that night. 5 days ago, Kasuga Toru was thrown out of the Golden Dream. I saw him leave with a Ronin with a tattoo on his neck, possibly heading to another den called the Green Rest, and I've not seen him since.
he is missing as well.
He might be.
He is.
Ah, well, yeah. There you go.
What do you plan to do?
Well, smoke myself to death, I guess.
You seem well on your way.
I would say you're right.
Is there really nothing better?
I don't know. It's all such a blur now.
All right, she will look back down at the painting and say,
It is really very good. You should paint more. But you can't with your hands like that.
No. A side effect of the time between pipes.
If you can paint this well, even so, I would love to see what you can do when you're feeling better. I'm sure I'd buy more paintings if they were better than this. And if I hadn't given all my money away or had it stolen, those things keep happening.
You think he was listening,
he didn't immediately brush it off.
right? And you get a nice wood block Sumi painting.
Thank you for the painting and your time.
And he bows, which he did not do at the start.
And she will bow and turn back to Daisuke, who was watching
Guarding
the
the door.
door. Yes, the door hasn't done anything.
The air is certainly much fresher out here.
I have a painting now. He went looking for Hiroshige after he went missing, and he told me how to find an alley where he said there were signs of a struggle.
Shall we go there next then?
Yes.
And she will lead the way, since she knows where it is.
Mm-hmm. And Daisuke will follow.
And as they're walking over, she will fill him in on
The
all the
conversation.
other information she was told
Hmm.
about arguing with the Ronin with the tattoo on his neck, or not arguing. The other guy went with the Ronin with the tattoo on his neck. Hiroshige argued with a different Ronin over debts and billing and stuff. She's just telling him all the various things.
Hade, the Ronin, he argued with.
Yes, the night that he went missing. The three of them had been together, but then they argued and they all split up. And Kakita Amaru had not seen him since then.
Seems like a coincidence. I think that perhaps this Hade may have some involvement.
It is possible. He said that he did not go looking for Hiroshige, so I am told.
In the alleyway, Daisuke is looking, through some litter and stuff that's been abandoned, perhaps a long time ago, some more of late, a couple of empty crates, a barrel, and off to one side, an overturned barrel with its lid off, and Daisuke peers inside and pulls out what appears to be a torn piece of cloth, which is covered in an oily muck, and he whiffs it and his face scrunches up. Wow. A strong smell indeed. I suspect this may be the raw form of the opium?
I certainly would not know. And she has bent down to pick up something which is lying on the floor against the wall in the alley, and she sort of holds it up. It's a piece of a straw hat. I don't know if Hiroshige wore one, but it does have trim and crane colors.
And I doubt that there would be too many other cranes here in this town.
I could not say.
Other than that guy. Other than Kakita Amuru. And the plot thickens. I had heard that before it's smokable, it has to go through some process. And after the plant has been harvested, it ends up as a black sludge like this. Oh. Certainly I couldn't work with this.
So, we have a piece of a hat and a piece of cloth with opium.
Perhaps he visited the place where it was made. Maybe in an attempt to steal some at its source to sell. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
So, Miss Byaku-san, what shall we do now?
Truth be told, I do not know. If there is nothing else here, there are people and places that were mentioned, but I am unsure.
We still had one place to go, correct?
If you were referring to the other moneylender, there is that, but there were other places mentioned since then.
The Legend of the Five Rings role-playing game is available from Edge Studios, starring RavenInsane as Rin, Emily as Chiaki, and Ghost as the storyteller. Sounds and music were provided by Sirenscape and Nash Music Library. This has been a Crit Fail production. Thank you very much for listening.